Welcome to Kingsport, Tennessee, and inside of Tribe Athletic Complex. It's the beginning of the 2025 men's volleyball tournament for the Appalachian Athletic Conference. I'm Gabriel Schrei here with Gary Justice, and glad you're with us. St. Thomas University has flown from Miami. They are 20-1 overall, and they'll look to knock the Truett McConnell Bears out of the tournament and end their season today to get us started. Gabriel Schrei alongside me, my good friend and analyst Gary Justice. Glad you're here, Gary. This is going to be a barn burner of a tournament, but St. Thomas and the Bobcats are looking to set the tone to get us started.
Yeah, St. Thomas, if you like offense in the sport of volleyball, watch the St. Thomas Bobcats. They swing early, they swing often, and they're very effective when they swing they make the swings on the volleyball as well.
About ready to go between these two. We had some great honors delivered before the match and two really good lineups to get us started, but nobody in the Appalachian Athletic Conference has come close to the performance of Reinhardt University and the Eagles, and of course the 20-1 overall St. Thomas University Bobcats this season. How does a team compete with the Bobcats today, Gary?
Yeah, they have to stay connected. Truett McConnell has to stay connected offensively. They have to control the first ball over, run their offense, and also got to stay connected defensively as well. They cannot have open spots on the court. If you do that, St. Thomas is so effective at swinging the volleyball and attacking the corners. It really puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
The starting lineup today, we'll get started with a look at the Truett McConnell Bears. Zambrana leading us off, Bosman, Caleb Bosveld, Schumann, Bailey, and McAllister. And for the St. Thomas Bobcats, Montez, Izquierdo, Cayares, Ingram, Morgan, and Diaz-Dubé are leading them off. St. Thomas has been so good behind that high-powered lineup all season long. Just disrupting them seems like a massive challenge and nearly impossible as our official sends the ball onto the Bobcats and we're about ready to get started. Is there any one stat or fact that is stuck in your mind as we prepared for this match, Gary?
Yeah, St. Thomas as a team, they hit it at a 384 clip, which is amazing.
We're underway in the 2025 AAC Men's Volleyball Tournament as the Bobcats take a 1-0 lead. Welcome inside of Tribe Athletic Complex.
Excellent job. There's a setter getting to the hitter. A nice connection. A setter-hitter connection is so important on the first point of the match. So they're already in tune here early in the Tribe Athletic Complex.
Bobcats float another over. Backdoor, the laser is rejected by St. Thomas.
They do such a good job, running a double block on that right side. The set was a little too wide, and the attack was coming from the side versus on top. And to beat a team like St. Thomas who won 20 straight matches, you got to play clean the entire volleyball match if you can.
2-0 as St. Thomas sends this over to keep us rolling. Bears up front, contested. Backdoor again, and that same play works this time for Truett McConnell. Bobcats return. It's dug out in the middle. Great shot. Here's a chance. This one to the back corner, and he paints the boardwalk.
Yeah, St. Thomas has their libero is one of the best in the entire conference and one of the best in the entire country. Controlling that first ball over, get it to the setter so you can get to the hitter. You can run your offense from that right side.
Floated over, we're back underway. Bobcats holding a 3-0 lead as this one is blockered back for a fourth point. St. Thomas, this is why they're 20-1 overall. They're dominant up front, demanding with possession. They do such a great job through the center of the floor. It just seems like it's going to be so difficult for anyone to keep up with this program. Sent back over and controlled. Out front, there's an absolute strike of the ball. Dug out unbelievably by St. Thomas. Bears have it again. In control, there's a feed, and this one blown dead by our official on the close side of the floor to the scorer's table. Truett McConnell gets on the board with that one. It's 4-1.
Got a little too. They touched the net as a violation, so the Bears get on the scoreboard. Now they got taking advantage here. They have the volleyball, got the service. You got to be able to score points to match St. Thomas offense.
Well, and you'll take points however you can get them in this one. 3-point game in this first set and make it 2. That one deflected off awkwardly into the bench. Bobcats lead 4-2, but Truett McConnell 2 in a row as they're looking to start a run early.
The service aces in the wind for Truett McConnell this year. They average 2.5 service aces per set, and their losses only 0.84. It's important to score points as much as possible.
There's an absolute laser to the hardwood and another point on the board for the Bobcats, who snapped the quick 2-point run.
Khalil Ingram, he is the player of the year in the conference, newcomer of the year. He also leads the conference in kills per set at almost 4.5 kills per set.
Sent back over the top. This one back across. Well played, and St. Thomas can't dig it out. Great strike of the ball by TMU as it's back to a 2-point match.
So you have Truett McConnell on a little 3-1 run here. They survived that first opening run from St. Thomas. Now starting to get a little offensive rhythm to their game.
5-3 TMU trying to keep things going. Bobcats to the back door. What an absolute laser strike to the back line. Perfectly paints the boards.
Corrales does a good job of setting the volleyball for St. Thomas. He moves defenders with his eyes. You think he'll try to run the double block to a certain side. Does such a good job of shifting the defender, find the open spot on the floor, score the point.
Service will come from just in front of us. St. Thomas pushes this over. Barely dug that out. And to get us started, it's just poked over the top of the twine. Bobcats keep it rolling, 7-3.
They do such a good job, and they're known for their offense, leading the country in hitting percentage and also assists per set and also kills per set, showing the defensive ability here early for St. Thomas.
Morgan serves again. Up front, this one is struck well through traffic, and I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication, but Adam Schumann gets another one back for TMU.
Doing a better job now of controlling that first ball over, getting to the setter, run their offense. They got a couple guys who swing with the left hand, so they'll attack from the right side. The Bears starting to click here early.
Serviced over carefully, well controlled. Bobcats touch this down to the boards right up front, and nothing they can do to keep up with him. Zambrana services, and up front the big guy makes another play. Cooking with gas is Jesus Montez. He looks great. Floated over and dug out immediately. Ingram's serve. Puts the Bobcats up front with an absolute battle at the block. Another try. This one kept alive by the Bears. TMU just pushes this over, and they'll take a moment. Bobcats, no time to regroup. Returned. Truett McConnell in danger. Backdoor in this one. Gently floated over for the point by Montez again.
Known for their power of swinging early and swinging often and swinging with power. Show a little finesse there. I thought an open spot on the floor, a little tip to the middle of the court, score the point.
Great job by Montez. Ingram will service for the Bobcats. Right to the corner, and it's just got too much power on it. You can see him taking advantage of that. Kalen pushes that over, and it's like an absolute hammer to the back line.
Yeah, Ingram is a point scorer. He gets the volleyball in his hands. He normally will come away with a point, whether it be on the spike of the kill attempt or from the service area.
Caleb already a couple of kills. Ingram just over the top of the tape. Dug out by Zambrana. Up front, Ingram is the one who returns it. Rejected at the tape by the Bobcats, and St. Thomas keeps it going. And what a run they're on. 6 unanswered points as it's 11-4 in our first set between St. Thomas and the Bears of Truett McConnell. Gary, what a way to start.
Yeah, St. Thomas come out to had a little run here early, got scored the first 4 points of the match. Truett McConnell responded 3 of the next 4, but then St. Thomas got the volleyball in their hands on this side of the floor, and they continue to put pressure on the Truett McConnell defense. And what can Truett McConnell now? They have to stay connected defensively. The last couple of points, they've started to open up the middle of the floor, trying to go to the outside to block the outside hitters. But St. Thomas, so skilled offensively, they're doing a little tip, a little finesse to go to the middle of the court.
A little finesse to go over the court. 11-4 in Kingsport, Tennessee. In Kingsport, Tennessee, it's 11-4, St. Thomas and the Bobcats. A quick lead as we're back underway with a service. Bobcats keep it going, an ace, 12-4, a dozen points.
St. Thomas, we talked about leading the country with a .384 hitting percentage on the season. Here early in this match, their hitting percentage is at a .700. That's back-to-back aces for Ingram as well.
Glad you're with us. Gabriel Schrei, Gary Justice here with me. It's the 2025 Appalachian Athletic Conference Men's Volleyball Championship. And this time, immediately the whistle from our official. So a point for TMU for the violation up front by the Bobcats.
Truett McConnell's got to continue to compete here. Again, you can be in awe of the St. Thomas offense. Truett McConnell is a skilled volleyball team themselves. Got to keep competing.
This one off of the tape, couldn't get it to go.
Truett McConnell is attacking the corners, whether it be off the serve or off their attacks, off their offense, trying to move the St. Thomas defense a little bit. Unsuccessful there, the volleyball into the net.
13-5 in this first set. Floated over the top, dug out by TMU. Bears backside, a laser is delivered straight up, and another violation up at the tape.
In sport of volleyball, on your blocks, you can get as close to the net as you can so you can get over the net ever so slightly. That time when on the jump, a little contact on the net, a little violation, point to Truett McConnell.
TMU returns. Just barely dug out. Well delivered to the back door, but he puts too much on it, and another free point for TMU's Bears.
Nice job. In the sport of volleyball, you're trying to move the defense around as much as possible. Got St. Thomas wide on this left side, and the cross-court attack was too long, too wide. Point Truett McConnell.
Bears send it back over the top, well delivered. Dug out, back line, too much again as TMU continues to service, and they're looking good. All of a sudden, everything coming together for Jen Bailey and his Bears.
Yeah, a little 4-0 run for Truett McConnell to see if they can continue putting this pressure on St. Thomas.
13-8 TMU. Benitez dug it out to the backside, and this one deflected off. How about that? I mean, Kalen Ingram just has so much sauce on the back end of that. He comes down, hammers the ball, and there's nothing TMU can do to return it.
Well, Gabe, when you need a point, go to 13 in red. I promise you he can find you a point. That's exactly what St. Thomas did, broke the 4-0 run by Truett McConnell.
He is a monster, and you don't think, when you think of volleyball, you don't think that weight room is a part of preparing, planning, and being great at the game, but my goodness, he has been hitting the hammer curls, comes down, look at the power on that swing.
So far, Truett McConnell offensively 3 kills and 3 attack errors, so there's an even hitting percentage. If they clean that up, they're going to compete with St. Thomas.
Pushed back side, off the blocker, still alive. What a play by the Bears just in front of the scorer's table, and it's blown dead. Really, really good hustle by Bosville.
Got players competing on both sides of the floor right now. Hustle play there, just unable to get the volleyball back outside the antenna, point to St. Thomas.
Great blast. What a dig on the back corner. Bobcats send it over, and they score anyhow. 16-9, our first set between these two.
Bobcats play with such poise. The first ball over, unable to control it cleanly. Nice job by the attacker from the left side. Score the point.
Center of the floor, pushed over. St. Thomas controlled up front. Bosveld tries to put that down, and a kick off of the face of a teammate. Truett McConnell will service. It's going to be Caleb Bosveld. He's a great player, does a lot of things all around the floor so well.
Truett McConnell has a talented roster up and down from the far first seat to the last seat. Very talented club.
This one pushed through and immediate points.
Nice job fundamentally with the block. Got to keep the hands ever so slightly tilted so the ball goes straight into the floor. Nice job by the Bears.
16-11, TMU pushes it over. Dugout backside, Ingram, the laser, too much, and TMU takes another.
Yeah, TMU starting to do a better job, Gabe, with defense on their rotations. They're limiting the hitting areas for the Bobcats, and the scoreboard's starting to reflect that within 4. Closest match has been in a long time.
TMU services. And this one pushed down to the center of the floor as well. St. Thomas back to a 5-point advantage. Truett McConnell has done a really nice job in this first set of hanging around, getting some runs, and creating points in inventive ways.
That shows there you got the setter of the year and the player of the year. Corrales and Ingram, they are connected so well with Ingram at the point. Let's see if Truett McConnell can respond.
This one through as well. 18-12, a 6-point set.
Back-to-back points for Ingram. He got the one from the left side. The second time he went from the right side. Young man's a talented volleyball player. Reasonable. He's a newcomer of the year and player of the year in the entire AAC. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Backside, great push of the ball. Again, a really clever play by Alex Bosman. Just slicks that over the top of the tape.
I really love the adjustment Coach Shea's done for Truett McConnell. It went away from the power, going to more of the finesse. See if they can get St. Thomas scrambling defensively.
Troy McAllister serves. This one is an absolute laser blasted to the back by Jesus Montez. And Montez and Ingram combined to be an absolute force of the Bobcats in South Florida. Imagine the terror. You have to drive all the way down to the very tip of Florida and then take on those two. My goodness.
You talk about double trouble. Those guys are a talent of a duo you can find throughout the country.
Floated across. Off of the Morgan serve, and as he digs it out, the violation up front. So the Bears get another point back, and that's going to go the way of the Bobcats. Super, super important points on the line here. 2013, this first set has been mostly St. Thomas, but Truett McConnell looking really good so far.
Do a little maintenance on the net there. The antenna got touched, has to be straight up and down and in line with the sideline. The officiating team, the team in white there, they're not only calling the ball games, Gabe, they're also doing a little court maintenance.
I guess. They do it all.
Multi-talented folks.
That's pretty good. Sent over the top again by Dennis Morgan. Backside. Well played by TMU, blockered immediately by the Bobcats. Ingram uses the size, and he just drops that one to the boards.
What happens is controlling that first ball over is so important. Truett McConnell struggling the last couple of points. Allowing St. Thomas to dictate what they want to do offensively. It's led to 3 consecutive points for the Bobcats.
Off the tape, it rolls back, and an error. 14 points now for TMU's Bears, 21-14.
Play into a finite number of 25 in each set. You got to capitalize on your scoring opportunities, and here you have that scoring opportunity. See if you can make a run here, 21-14, whether it be in this set or get some momentum going into set number 2.
Sent over the top, a blast. This one lost. He tried to control it on the very back, but it's off of the hand of Bosveld, and a great strike through traffic by Matthias Calares.
They're doing a good job of Truett McConnell doing a good job of ball pursuit and competing. However, right now the ball's not bouncing their way. But gotta love Coach Shea, what his ball club is doing. They're competing.
Kalen Ingram to go to work. Great dig out by Orkison. Return to the corner. Ingram again. Up front, down low. This one battled, trying to kick it out of there. And again, Truett McConnell taking the point as that one got lost in traffic.
Nice job staying connected defensively for Truett McConnell. Was able to slide a couple of blockers from the attacker. Led to a point for Truett McConnell, 22-15. Let's see if they can get a little scoring run here. Next couple of points.
Sent over by Bosman, and immediate point for Truett McConnell. There's the run you mentioned. Just getting it started. We'll see Bosman. He's got a couple of kills already. One service ace for the Bears of Truett McConnell as he catches the violation.
I think he had something in mind. He wanted to go to this back left corner. However, just got a little too close to the line. Violation was called by the official. Point to St. Thomas.
And the Reinhardt Eagles have joined us in the gym at Tribe Athletic Complex. They'll be playing in our second game today, and we've got all 4 matchups in the first round of the 2025 men's volleyball tournament for the Appalachian Athletic Conference as this comes off of the marker on the corner.
The Bobcats offense puts so much pressure on you defensively, even off the serve. There's so much power. Get the jump serve, get on top of the volleyball, hitting it straight down. It's hard to control that first ball over. Now we have set point.
Set point on the line between the Bobcats and the Bears. A blast, back line dug out well. Montez went after that, and he digs it out. Jesus up to row G, and that one rattles off as TMU stays alive.
Continue to compete. Not surprised from Coach Shea's club. See how many points the Bears can put on the scoreboard.
Jed Bailey will be the one to service and trying to keep them alive. With set point on the line for the Bobcats, Bailey for the Bears. Good delivery. Up front, backside, trickeration. Ingram, miscommunication with Montez. This is sent back door. TMU off the blocker. Ingram floated down low. Jesus, perfect push, and that's set point for the Bobcats of St. Thomas, who take the first of 3 in this first matchup of the 2025 AAC Men's Volleyball Tournament. One set in the books, and the advantage in the hands of the Bobcats of St. Thomas. Welcome back to Kingsport, Tennessee. One set in the books, and it's in the hands of the St. Thomas University Bobcats. Truett McConnell Bears are trying for the big upset over the number 1 seed, the 20-1 overall Bobcats. Can they do it? We're going to find out. Couple of sets left to play in this first round of the 2025 AAC Men's Volleyball Tournament. I'm Gabriel Schrei here with Gary Justice, and glad you're along for the ride today. Gary, this has been a really good one so far. A really competitive first set between these two.
Yeah, St. Thomas got off to a quick start. Truett McConnell had a little run middle of the match, and then St. Thomas was able to close it out to 25. And statistically, what the Bobcats have done all year long, the 384 hitting percentage, also kills per set, all matches up what happened in that first set as well. The Bobcats hitting at a 400 hitting percentage in that first set, had 15 assists, 16 kills. A multi-talented offense game. They've used the power. They also use that finesse here as well. I think TMU in this second set, they have to continue to compete. Coach Shea's club will do that, no doubt. However, they got to find some open spots. Only in that first set, only had 5 kills, had 4 attack errors, only had a 0.43 hitting percentage. Got to be a little bit better offensively if you're going to compete with the St. Thomas Bobcats.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to increase their efficiency. They didn't look bad, and I think they did a really nice job of hanging around against such an overwhelming offense, and that tells me that they can do it. They just have to have a good day and find a way to communicate and string things together.
St. Thomas does that to a lot of people. It's not just Truett McConnell. You know, that's a team where they've won 20 straight matches, one of the best offenses in the entire country. But you got to stay connected defensively. against St. Thomas to continue to compete.
Couldn't agree more. And Reinhardt's Eagles are standing by. We're going to have a great second matchup as well today. This is probably the highlight of the tournament in these St. Thomas Bobcats, but the Reinhardt Eagles are certainly going to give them a run for their money this week.
They got some really, we've got 4 matches today, 8 very talented teams and some great individual players, and Reinhardt is one of those talented teams, a roster full of talented players as well.
Nice day in Kingsport, Tennessee, 54 degrees. It's warmed up this morning. It was really cold. It was 34 degrees this morning at 6 o'clock. Really cold start to the day. We were loading out, getting in here, getting ready to go. Warmed up to 57 outside, and we're coming to you live from inside of the Tribe Athletic Center in Kingsport at Dobbins-Bennett High School, which is an iconic high school. It's wild how many fans they draw into this gymnasium and out into their football stadium.
Definitely a wonderful facility to have this tournament in the AAC for the men's volleyball tournament. The second straight year I've been involved with the Southeast Sports Network broadcasting this one, and it's a great facility, plenty of parking, a great host for the AAC volleyball tournament.
About ready to go with our second set. Glad you're with us.
Set 2 will open with service by Truett, McConnell's Caleb Boswell.
This second set Truett McConnell gave, they had to have better ball control. They got to take up some space with blockers, and they have to attack the edges to be successful.
This one's serviced over the top. Hammered up front. Bobcats keep it rolling. Backdoor, this one lasered down the line and just rustles the tape as the Bears get a point.
Nice job of the Bears getting on the scoreboard here early.
Bears on the scoreboard early. Problem with the equipment again down on the floors. Are working to get that cleaned up and will. And our official looks satisfied, so we'll play on in Kingsport. He doesn't just look satisfied, he looks amused.
He's had to work on that antenna a couple of times already this morning. He looks satisfied now, though.
This one going to rustle off of the twine and rattle to the floor as we're deadlocked 1-1. Floated across and stopped up at the blocker.
At St. Thomas, we talked about taking the space with your blockers. You go up, you get a guy the size of St. Thomas has, easy for them to take up that space. Got the double block, got the point. Check that, that's for the Bears.
Backside Ingram, an absolute laser, an orbital strike as he buries that one into the floor. My goodness.
Yeah, he does such a good job on that left side. He's able to swing with that right hand. He has all the court to play with when he goes on that left side, and he's one of the most talented attackers throughout the country. Showed the reason why there.
TMU. Boswell pushed that over. Controlled out front, and this one is perfectly delivered by Morgan.
The Bobcats play with such poise on the floor. Very controlled offensively. They know exactly what they want to do, whether it could be an outside attack or go from the middle. Such good offensive connection right now for the Bobcats.
This one is howitzered off of the front. (4-2) just like that. And this is going to go as well for a point for the TMU Bears, who bring us within one.
Got to take advantage of the scoring opportunities here, and this is an opportunity for McConnell. Take a little run.
Zambrana put it over, and this one is another orbital strike from who else Beautiful, beautiful play by Kalen Ingram.
Kalen Ingram does such a good job. He moved the defender with his shoulders, and once the defender moved, he went the opposite direction and found the open spot. It's on the sideline.
Ingram, impressive stat line. He's up to 7 kills. His hitting percentage is .667. Dug out by Bosvold. He's got a kill. Floated from the corner. Bobcats setting up. Backdoor. Ingram again. Absolute gasoline. He is cooking with heat. How do you compete with a guy that's that physical?
Well, he's physical, but also just multi-talented offensively, too. He has the finesse, he has the power, displayed the power there. He moves the defenders with his shoulders, his eyes. 13 of them red is a hard guy to defend.
This one is going to go off of the back line, and again the point to the Bobcats of St. Thomas. The Florida program is looking really good in Tennessee.
That's 3 straight points here for the Bobcats. Look for Coach Shea's club to make some type of change to kind of break this run from St. Thomas. Got to continue to play with poise, stay connected defensively, run your offense.
First set went to the Bobcats of St. Thomas. It's 7-3 in our second. Struck, and this one rattles back. Regathered by St. Thomas. Bobcats, Morgan, this one delivered as well. Hello, I'd like to buy a postage stamp, please.
Such a good job of attacking the outside, attacking the middle. They have one of the best setters in the entire country. He moves defenders with his eyes as well. Knows exactly where he wants, like a point guard in basketball. He knows where to dish the rock.
Diaz-Dubé, Dennis Morgan looking so good up front. Battle at the tape, and this one finds its way down to the boards. Another point for St. Thomas, who is leading by 6, 9-3.
Right now it's 5 straight for the Bobcats, and right now Truett McConnell not clicking right now whatsoever defensively or offensively. Maybe look for a timeout coming up from Coach Shea if they score another point or two.
Off the tape, and this is a free point for TMU. They'll certainly take it. They needed to break that run up, and they'll take whatever they can to get that done.
Now you got to see Truett McConnell start play with more intent. Right now they're trying to just defend and they're being reactive versus proactive. Look for the team in blue to be more intentional with their offense.
Got to look at the Royals of Warner standing by, waiting for the Reinhardt Eagles in our second matchup of the day. That one will get started, a 1 o'clock scheduled start time between those two. 6 points separate us, 10-4. Ingram will light this off. In our second set, dug out up front. Backdoor, Bosveld put it back to Kalen. He dug it out. Ingram, unreal, and the call. What a point.
Yeah, nice job from Truett McConnell putting the pressure on St. Thomas, unable to respond defensively. See if he gets a little confidence going for the team in blue. Start stringing a few points together, stay connected as much as possible, offensively and defensively.
Now serving, Jed Bailey.
Center over the top, this one is right on the back line, and it'll go out for a point for the St. Thomas Bobcats. St. Thomas flew, but they flew into Charlotte, so they avoided the 16-hour drive, which I know that drive very well, but they had to drive from Charlotte to Kingsport, which sounds exhausting to me. You have to cut through Appalachia, and those roads are tough. Out front, back corner. Bobcats, a laser. Backdoor to Bosveld, who pushes it through, and this one rolls off of the floor. 6 points on the board for the Bears.
Yeah, nice job of Truett McConnell playing with a 10th there, hitting the volleyball, being proactive offensively. Off the defender's hands, out of bounds, point to Truett McConnell.
Struck over the top, dug out, and this one deflected into the scorer's table. Another free point for the Bears. And you can tell they're feeling it, Gary. They've got a couple back in a row as it's 11-7. Quickly dug. A blast is sent back and blown dead for the Bobcats.
Point, St. Thomas.
I know it was a violation called on Truett McConnell there, but the defense for Truett McConnell has really slowed the pace down offensively for St. Thomas. Look for St. Thomas to start picking up the pace offensively, quicker sets.
What a blast. Again, this one coming through off of the hands of Caleb Bosveld. 4 kills for him now.
Yeah, he's a 2-level scorer. He can score from the front row or the back row. Displayed on the front row, scoring there. The Bears within 4.
Caleb will service. In a 4-point set, this rolls off of the tape and makes it 5.
Point, St. Thomas. Matthias Calares now serving.
Sent over the top by Kairis, and Matthias has this dug out by his teammate, Monaco. Wow, incredible diving play by Bosman as it's sent back over by TMU. Bosman battling Ingram up front and the power. How do you compete with that? I know I've said that about 7 times. I'm going to keep asking. I just don't know how you slow him down.
You got to start thinking about even potentially running a triple block at number 13 in red. Take up as much space as you can.
A triple block?
A triple
That
block.
leaves a lot of the floor open, and Dennis Morgan is a problem as well as he blockers that back. You officiated volleyball for 2 decades, 2.5?
2 decades. And
That experience, have you seen a lot of people triple blocked like that?
Yeah, not many. Of course, you don't see too many people like 13 in red play volleyball as well.
Backside, floated, controlled well. Jesus sent it to Ingram in the violation right at the net.
Point, St.
So what a triple block will do, you're essentially taking your entire front line and running at one player. You got to have backside rotation to cover the court as much as possible. It's not something you want to do.
No, that's right on the corner. St. Thomas perfectly painting the back of the floor. My goodness. Beautiful delivery, a timeout on the floor for these two, and as they take a break, it's 17-8, the lead in the hands of St. Thomas and the Bobcats.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
In Kingsport, Tennessee, 17-8. The Bobcats looking good in their second set as well, and they were able to stave off TMU, who looked really good in the first set. Truett McConnell has had a nice run in this set already, Gary, but so far it really feels like everything is going the way of the Bobcats.
Yeah, they put so much pressure on you defensively. You have to stay connected. You got to be fundamentally sound as much as possible.
This one delivered over the front. Dug out, back to the line. Truett McConnell Bears deflected that off. Morgan pushes it over. Kept floating. Orkison sent it to the back door, and the blast is going to give the point to the Bobcats. It's 18-8, a 10-point advantage.
Had an opportunity to visit with the Bobcats coaching staff, and I was asking about their coaching philosophy as far as developing their roster is concerned. They said they want to find the correct people for their program and their school. They want to have players have defined roles, and then also they want to have players who can score the volleyball.
What a play. Struck through by Bosveld. And the response is an absolute laser at the front line by Morgan.
That's what the Bobcats offense does to you. But again, now Truett McConnell is starting to scramble defensively. They had a little bit of run in the middle part of this match, but St. Thomas now starting to really put the pressure on Truett McConnell defensively, and the Bears having a hard time responding to the Bobcats offense.
Quickly dug out. Right out front. Wow, lots of space to deliver that one. Troy McAllister perfectly places it onto the floor.
Excellent job. The defender floats by the setter. Very patient with the set. Nice setter and hitter connection. Point for the Bears.
Serviced over the top, and this one is going to go wide on McAllister, so the Bobcats up to 20 points in this second set.
I really love the Bobcats bench on the point celebrations. They do sit-ups and push-ups.
They're doing a lot.
A lot of calisthenics.
I like it. It's a lot of activity. Great delivery, but too much on it as this one sails on him as well. 21-9, St. Thomas Bobcats.
Right now, the Bobcats playing with a lot of poise, a lot of energy as well, defensively, offensively, making it hard for the Bears to score.
Serviced over the top, out front, backside, McAllister, what a touch. Ingram, Jesus, and this one is just nothing that can be done by TMU as it easily finds the boards. Jesus Montez, just a great delivery.
They do such a good job of spreading their defenders out. We talk about running the triple block at Ingram. Well, it's hard to do that against the Bobcats. They have so many talented attackers. If you start running too many people, one hitter, those go to the other side, they'll have the open floor.
Backside laser to the blocker. Controlled, floated, dug out. Again, Jesus over the top, TMU. Out front, McAllister tried to push it through, off the twine twice, and now the point for the Bobcats, 23-9.
Talking to coaching staff before the game for St. Thomas, said, hey, we're known for our offense, but we take pride in our defense. Very evident on that point.
Serviced over, backside McAllister, what a slap of the ball. Jesus just touched it. Through the blockers, again to the backside, and the point to TMU as we get a violation up front. They need a few more of those.
So the Bears have got a one stop. Let's see if they can string those together and put some points on the scoreboard in the second set.
Sembrana service. There's a blast by Morgan. Jesus tries himself, dug out by McAllister, and it's lost onto the floor. Set point on the table for the Bobcats of St. Thomas.
The calling card for St. Thomas is it causes you to be reactive versus proactive defensively and offensively. A lot of teams struggle. That's the reason why they've won 20 straight matches and leading this one 24-10.
Morgan. First set point, this one rolls over the top of the tape, and the second set is in the pocket, in the bag for the Bobcats of St. Thomas in Kingsport, Tennessee. One set left to go for St. Thomas to advance. Truett McConnell is trying to stave off a quick exit from our tournament. We'll return on the Southeast Sports Network. More to come. Glad you're with us. We played 2 sets, and both have gone to the Bobcats of St. Thomas University. Gabriel Schrei, Gary Justice, glad you're with us in Kingsport, Tennessee. It's the 2025 AAC Men's Volleyball Championship, and right now, our first matchup, it's the number 1 seed and the last seed in the bracket. The Truett McConnell Bears were able to force their way into this one, and they're trying to stay alive as a third set on the line. What can they do to keep themselves in this?
They got to stay connected defensively. They have to start manipulating the defenders from St. Thomas, move the blockers as much as possible, open up the court, find you some scoring areas. And that's easier said than done against St. Thomas because their defensive has been just as impressive as their offense has been today for the Bobcats.
20-1 overall, 10 wins this season for the Bears. They're the number 8 seed here at the Triumph Athletic Complex. I'm Gabriel Schrei, Gary Justice alongside me, and we're glad you're along for the ride for what promises to be a thrilling next set of action on the Southeast Sports Network. Big thank you to the Appalachian Athletic Conference and Visit Kingsport for being such excellent partners now for years running, as the first point of this third set is clearly in the hands of the St. Thomas Bobcats.
You talk about Ingram. He's such a physical finisher with the volleyball. You don't say that phrase very much in the sport of volleyball, but 13 in red, he finishes it physically.
This one deflected away.
Point to Truett McConnell.
And it's 1-1.
Look for Truett McConnell, maybe play a little bit more pace here in this third set. See if they can get their offense rolling. You want to swing early, swing often. Get that quick set, see if you can catch St. Thomas shifting defensively.
Floated over the top. To take the lead, this one off the mark, and the Bobcats are back out in front. And that's an interesting stat. So far, Truett McConnell's Bears have not yet led a single moment in any of these 3 sets.
The team in red is going to do it to a lot of people throughout the country, and they're one of the top programs in the country, and that is an interesting stat here already in the third set.
Pushed over the top, dug out. St. Thomas Bobcats going to float that over, and Izquierdo 3-1 St. Thomas.
Yeah, if you run a single blocker at Ingram, that's going to be a recipe for disaster because he manipulates defenders. He can also hit off that block. You have to be fundamentally sound if you're going to go one-on-one with 13.
Morgan dug it out. Izquierdo again. Dennis pushed down to the center of the floor.
And you saw Truett McConnell's defense was scrambling to the outside trying to cover those hitters. And he decided to go to the middle. Found the open spot in the middle of the floor. Ball finds the hardwood.
Izquierdo delivers. Out front, a howitzer, and this one rattles around before falling to the boards.
He's a big-time point getter as well. He hit that one from the back row, showed a lot of athleticism on the top of the volleyball, hit it down off the defender's hands. Point Truett McConnell.
Today's game available so many different places. Tune in on our simulcast to the National Sports Broadcast Network. This one rattles off the tape, 5-2, the third set. Obviously pushing our video today in a simulcast to the Appalachian Athletic Conference digital network as well. You can find it at aacsports.com. Find all the ways you can tune in and watch sesnsports.com/how to watch. Our next game at 1:30, the Reinhardt Eagles and the Royals of Warner promises to be a really good one as well. That'll be one of our select games carried on regional television. It'll be all throughout North Georgia. Be sure to tune in on ECC Now, Channel 3 on their cable package, and we're excited for our coverage of that matchup as well.
Should be a good one. Reinhardt, one of the most talented ball clubs in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, and Warner has some great individual players as well.
Came off the front of the tape, now regathered. Sent with a blast to the back line, as this one is another Bobcat point.
Nice job by Truett McConnell. He saw an open spot in that back line. The attack was just a tad too long, giving the team in red another point.
Sent over by Morgan. Backside, rolls across the top of the tape, and the awkward drop to the floor going to give the point to the St. Thomas Bobcats. They lead by 6 in our third set. And with a 2-set advantage, they're threatening to advance to the semifinal tomorrow in our Friday series. Truett McConnell has to find a way to start getting some points. Bears to the backside. Great delivery, but this one is going to go too far. Too much power from Schumann, as it's another free point for St. Thomas. This one going to go long to the back line and paint the very edge of it as the point in the pockets of the Bobcats, and they celebrate in style. I love their celebrations. Look at that. What is he doing?
Very animated.
What is that?
Little crunches.
They're doing crunches.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys. Keep it active. Great delivery by Dennis Morgan. An 8-point advantage in this third set. Bears tried the floater. Izquierdo backdoor. This one blockered back, and TMU gets a point back. 7 points separate us.
Until that point, I thought TMU had lost a little confidence. The wind had kind of left the sail. Nice job attacking the volleyball there. Let's see if they have another push left in them during this third set.
Zambrana dishes from the back line. What an absolute missile, but it's going to paint the very edge and put another point in the pocket of St. Thomas, delivered perfectly by Arturo.
I truly don't know what you do defensively, because he had his shoulder squared up as for a middle attack. The defender slide. He goes to the left and clips that line for a point for St. Thomas.
Ingram will service. Watch out for that arm. We're going to be talking about his power all weekend, aren't we?
He is so good.
Galen, great blast, and the violation delivers a free point to TMU. They needed that.
He shows he's mortal.
Barely.
He committed a violation. Fun player to watch play the sport of volleyball.
Bosman services. It's dug out quickly. Montez put it up front, gets it back, and delivers a laser to the back line. 12 points to the Bobcats. That's also the 8th kill of this game. The match has been very, very productive for Jesus and Ingram. 13 kills now for Kalen. Jesus. Sent back aerial on the back line by Bosveld. Battle up front at the tape, and the violation, a point into the pockets of the Bobcats.
We talked about the setter-hitter connection for St. Thomas. It's essential because the setter needs to know where the hitters will feel confident attacking the volleyball, but also the setters have to be able to take feedback from the hitters where they want the volleyball as well. St. Thomas does a great job.
Dugout once and then twice. Jesus, this one takes a big shot. Another put through by Arturo. Delivered back by Schumann. Dugout Ingram. Up front. And it rolls off of the twine down to the floor where it's a TMU point. Just misfired.
Great paw pursuit by St. Thomas. However, the bump is a little too close to the net. Ball falls to the hardwood. Make it 13-5. Truett McConnell does not want their season to end. Let's see if they get this run left to them. Play with some confidence. More up-tempo offense. See if you can get St. Thomas scrambling defensively. Play proactively.
Dugout up front. Just in front of the tape, the blast off of his body, and a point for the Bobcats. What a lead they've built.
In the sport of volleyball, that's what you call a six-pack. When the volleyball is off the chest and above and goes out of bounds. And that was a Hollister. Point St. Thomas.
14-5 Bobcats. Good job on the back line by Schumann. Out front, this one touched over. Dug out by Arturo. Backside, it's Kalen Ingram. He's going to send it up front, and this one floated over the top. Backdoor. The blast looking for the back corner. He couldn't get it. That's a Bobcat point. Really good delivery, but Christopher Zambrana just a hair too much power on the back end.
That's the credit to the St. Thomas defense. The scoring area, Gabe, is so small. You have to be so precise.
This is Arturo. In a 10-point set, this one sails, and it makes it 9 again.
Point, Truett McConnell. Adam Schumann now serving.
Let's see if McConnell can find their offensive spark plug. Get the balls in the hand of their setter and let's run some offense.
Adam Schumann. Great battle for it up front. The return, and Ingram couldn't kick it to himself. A couple of points in a row for TMU.
That was a quick set offense. That's the up pace that you need. Got St. Thomas scrambling defensively. Found an open spot off the St. Thomas defender's elbow. Ball finds the hardwood point to Truett McConnell.
Schumann from the rear corner. Front side backdoor blast off of the blocker. It goes to the boardwalk, and it's 16-7 in our third set. St. Thomas Bobcats are looking for that sweep.
They shifted two defenders to this right side. Left the libero one-on-one, unable to corral the attack.
Schumann backside. There's the delivery. The floater. How did he dig that out? The first touch dug out. Zambrana just touched it over. A sliding, grabbing dive, and Dennis Morgan wasn't ready for it. What a play by the libero.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting to get the pancake.
I can't believe he dug that out. All delivered by Adam. Izquierdo tries to touch that one to the corner. Back up front, Schumann. Kalen. 16-8. St. Thomas. There's the laser. Dugout kept alive. Matthias sent it up front. There's the touch over the top. Izquierdo again. He's going to try it a third time, and this one off of the blocker and out.
Doing such a good job of a second leap. I know the ball went out of bounds there, but the nice job by the blocker from Truett McConnell, jumping twice in a row. However, lost the fundamentals. The ball goes out of bounds.
Izquierdo gets us started again. Too much on the delivery as it sails.
Point, St. Thomas.
St. Thomas picks up the freebie. 9 points separate us in our third set. Backdoor through the blocker. Dug out by Izquierdo. Matthias to the front where Jesus pushes it too long, and that's 9 points for TMU's Bears. Scratch that, 18 points for the Bobcats of St. Thomas.
They have so many tone setters offensively.
Kept alive and couldn't direct that to Schumann. I think they lost confidence that the ball was alive and just let it sail. (19-8) in our third set. Bears pushed over. Izquierdo dug out. Backdoor Ingram, an absolute missile. My goodness, the coordinates on the floor. He memorized them before he got here so he could deliver that one.
How fun is it to watch 13 and Red play the sport of volleyball?
He's a menace.
My goodness, talented player.
That looked like it would hurt to try and block. Backdoor floated through, and this one is going to result in the violation and the free points. 21-9. Truett McConnell Bears pick it up. Third set, and they are trying to stave off elimination from the conference tournament. Well placed. Up front, St. Thomas going to forfeit another point. Almost a dozen separate us, as it is 21-10. The Bears will service again. A little error going to give the free point to the Bobcats, who are 3 away from wrapping this up and advancing to tomorrow's semifinal in the 2025 Appalachian Athletic Conference Men's Volleyball Tournament.
Got substitutes happening both ways. Nice job by the coaches to get people into the match. Talented rosters both ways. Both these coaches do such a good job of building the programs the right way.
Floated over the top by Dennis Morgan. And the point for St. Thomas on the violation. 2 points away from wrapping up this third set. The right way is an interesting choice of words. I think that's something that the NAIA has really started to go back to. If you follow them on social media, their messaging, their branding, their marketing, play the right way, the NAIA way. And, I'm a big believer in that. I think the culture and the attitude towards sports and collegiate athletics is really impressive from the NAIA, and these are great programs. This entire league, the Appalachian Athletic Conference, a great example of what the NAIA and college sports are supposed to be about.
Coach Shea talked about picking a style that you believe in offensively, as far as offensively and defensively, volleyball-wise, and he'll continue to build his roster as this season potentially may be coming to close, and he'll find the right players for his program.
Zambrana pushed it over. There's a delivery. A lot of power from Jesus, who's got 10 kills. The putback by the Truett McConnell Bears, who've got a dozen.
We talk about the ability for Truett McConnell to have really good second leapers. The first attack gets blocked, how quickly can he get back off the floor. The Bears doing a good job this afternoon.
Christopher Zambrana, dribble, dribble, dribble. He's going to deliver. And this one is an absolute orbital strike. Look out below. Alex Bosman, his 7th kill.
Bosman knew what to do with the volleyball there. He was on a perch for him on softball on the tee. Ball finds the hardwood.
23-13 in our third set. Backdoor Ingram, there's a delivery right off of the side. Almost a six-pack area. That was close.
He's up to 19 points on the afternoon. He also has 4 total blocks. You talk about a stat sheet stuffer. 13
it's
in
full.
red.
That's enough. Stop.
Please.
What was that during basketball? Somebody hit 3 or 4 threes in a row here in Kingsport. Turn the lights off. I can't watch anymore. We got it. Some confusion on the floor. Set point. Match point.
I think as they got some balls, got a little water on it. Or it's busted or something.
Something is wrong with the ball, and so they're going to take that ball.
Did Ingram hit the volleyball too hard?
Probably.
Did he break the volleyball?
You wouldn't surprise me one bit if you told me that Mr. Ingram split a volleyball open. He hits them like he's angry at them.
Service infraction. Point. Truett McConnell.
You hear the term from coaches, play with a purpose? 13 plays with a purpose.
He sure does. He comes through with fury, rage, and just a joy to watch. I am really enjoying watching him play already. This one's sent over. Again, this is match point on the line. Ingram with an absolute laser strike, and he does it all. That's going to be his 16th kill to finish our first match. The victory to the St. Thomas Bobcats. They move on to the semifinal of the 2025 AAC Men's Volleyball Tournament.
They're going to be a tough out for anybody in this AAC, and it'll be a tough out for anybody in this country. Offense. Also, very impressive day defensively from the Bobcats as well.
Really impressive stuff. Thanks for being with us. Game 1 of our coverage in the books. Join us again. 1:30 start between the Reinhardt Eagles and Warner Royals on the Southeast Sports Network and our simulcast to NSBN and the AAC Digital Network. We'll have it all. Don't go anywhere.
Want to watch your favorite Southeast teams in action? We've got you covered. Stream live games and highlights on YouTube, Twitch, Amazon Fire TV, Stream TV, and more. For all the details, visit our How to Watch page at sesnsports.com. It's your one-stop guide to catching every play, every time, wherever you are. The Southeast Sports Network, bringing the game to you anytime, anywhere. Catch the most thrilling moments from your favorite local teams, only on the Southeast Sports Network. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-winning goals, we bring you all the highlights that make the Southeast the heart of sports. Don't miss out. Tune in anytime, anywhere, and relive the action like never before. The action lives on our YouTube channel, but you can watch highlights many different ways by visiting our website. The Southeast Sports Network, where every play matters.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. This broadcast is a product of Shry Media, LLC. Unauthorized use, sale, or redistribution of this media in any form is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Shry Media. Radio and television mediums are encouraged to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game.